Hey everybody, it's Robbie Straczynski. I'm the founder of CardplayerLifestyle.com, and this is basically a video version of probably one of the more momentous blog posts that I've ever written, so I just sort of figured it deserves a video as well. I'm just going to be reading it because I know not everyone loves to read, but everyone loves to watch videos or to listen just in the background, but something pretty amazing has happened, and I wanted to let you know. I've finally decided to go all in on poker. I suppose you could say that it's a post that I always dreamed about writing, but I never thought it would actually happen. Never in my wildest dreams had I dared to think that I could try to make a career out of a hobby. Yet, lo and behold, here I am. I'm announcing to the world I have quit my full-time job, and now I'm officially self-employed doing poker media work. I've written before about how this blog started on a whim, and I'm incredibly proud of what I've been able to accomplish in my nights and my weekends. Quite slowly but surely, I've seen traffic to this site grow from just a handful each day to upwards of 7,000 unique visitors each month, and that I've never spent any money paying for traffic makes me that much more proud of how Card Player Lifestyle's organic reach has grown over the years. To look back at the milestones a little bit, the saying goes that you can't win the WSOP main event on day one, so it's certainly a long slog. So too has been my odyssey here with Card Player Lifestyle and getting to this point. Day by day, week by week, month by month, year by year, I've just continued grinding and chipping up, I guess you could say. At various points along the way, I've expanded my poker activities into co-developing the Poker Notes Live mobile app. I co-host the bi-weekly Top Pair Home Game Poker podcast, and of course I've done plenty of video presenting for Poker Update. In my view, an integral part of doing poker media work is at least occasionally being present at larger poker events and tournament series. My dedication to cranking out high-quality poker content notwithstanding, only last year was I finally able to be present at poker events for the very first time at the ripe old age of 34. As I documented extensively on Card Player Lifestyle, having had the privilege of attending the 2016 PCA and being my first WSOP, it was nothing short of spectacular. Those experiences were really magical. It's kind of been a long and unconventional road. Many members of the poker media typically chart the opposite course. They get into the field, they're young freelancers, they work their way up the ladder and become established veterans. Eventually, they, sometimes become employees of larger media companies, both or maybe online land-based poker operators. I would say that that's much more logical than what I did, given that most people fresh out of college are single and they're able to travel and do coverage on the poker circuit with relative ease. Reaching this point that I'm at right now has been that much sweeter because I took kind of an unconventional path. I got married when I was 20 years old, and I started having children soon after that. Having dependents usually means that you need a stable income, and frankly, your spouse and your children rightfully expect you to be present in their lives, and you want to be present in their lives too. As such, I've been working at various full-time jobs for well over a decade, and all the while, passionately, I've been toiling away on this site and my many other poker endeavors during my free time. Fortunately, and perhaps serendipitously, since 2010, I've been lucky enough to find work for a number of different top-notch companies in the online gaming industry. They're staffed with amazing and incredibly knowledgeable professionals. Over this time, aside from getting tremendous knowledge about online casinos, sportsbooks, bingos, lotteries, and other gaming verticals, what I've learned a ton about how things work in the industry, both from the operator and from the affiliate perspective, as well as loads about search engine optimization, that's SEO, marketing, content strategy, HTML, WordPress, social media, webmastering, customer retention, a lot of stuff. So all of that sounds like a bunch of gobbledygook to a lot of you probably, but the fact is that it's precisely those skills, along with, of course, producing tons of poker content, that have enabled this independent poker blog that I run to gain a measure of respectability and flourish, frankly, over these past 7 years. I also want to take this opportunity to publicly thank the management teams at each of those companies that I've worked at for allowing me to continue working on Cardplayer Lifestyle on nights and on weekends while I was working there. That took immense trust, especially that I would always avoid any potential conflicts of interest, and I really, really appreciate that trust. No more hitchhiking, much more family time, and more poker time. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention how happy I am to no longer have to commute. I live in Israel, where gasoline is really expensive here. It's over $6 a gallon. So we only have one car, and it's kind of got to stay local to move the kids around. It's kind of important. Also, where I live, public transportation really isn't that great. So in a nutshell, that means that I've basically had to hitchhike to and from work for years. Yes, hitchhike, like old school style. It's a daily experience that I am not going to miss even in the slightest. So yay, no more commuting. Working from home, by definition, of course, means that I have more time to spend with my family, with my wife, my children, and I'm absolutely loving it so far. Of course, striking the right balance between, work and home, even though I'm working from home, it seems like it's always going to be a bit tricky, but there's no doubt in my mind that my family and we really benefit from this career move that I've made. For years, I've said that I live and I breathe and I dream poker, and now I really feel like I can invest my heart and soul into making the biggest possible impact with my poker media work. Plainly put, if everything until now is what I've been able to accomplish in 10 to 12 hours a week, I kind of hope that I'm going to get that much more done by being able to put in 5 to 6 times as many hours each week. In short, and excuse the pun, finally I have the liberty to live that card player lifestyle that I have always craved. And of course, I got to give thanks where it's due. While I've obviously been the driving force behind this site since day one, many other people also deserve credit for helping me get it to this stage where I can take the risk of going solo. First off, thanks to my buddy Avi Buchbinder for co-founding this site with me back in 2009. He taught me so much about how to run it when we parted ways in August 2011. And, you've just always been such an awesome friend, willing to listen and lend me a hand ever since then. So thanks, man. I've written the overwhelming majority of articles for this site on my own, but many dozens of them have been penned by some truly excellent contributors over the years. You guys know who you are. Thank you very much. Among the pieces I've been most proud to publish on this site, there have been numerous interviews. So I just want to thank all the players and fellow members of the poker media who have ever agreed to participate and to work with me on these interviews over the years. It's really been awesome getting to know you better and to share your stories with poker fans. And much thanks to Daniel Mangranu. Anyone who knows me knows that he's like my favorite player. 2 years ago, almost to the day today, he took the time, Daniel, you took the time to have a long private conversation with me, and you convinced me that it was within my power to control my own future, to dream, declare, and deliver. Your words will always have a special place in my heart, and thank you very, very much for giving me the drive to set goals and work hard towards achieving things that I once thought were impossible. Of course, the biggest thank you goes to my wife, Miriam. Thank you, honey, for being on the receiving end of thousands of hours of poker talk that you really couldn't care less to hear, and just in general for believing in me. You were able to see and understand that this endeavor was always much more than just about playing a game for me, a game that I love. You rode the highs with me, and you sustained the lows with me on this one. And now it's time to really reach for the stars. Thank you so much for having my back as I take my shot at pursuing my dream job, because it's tough to call it work when you love what you do, right? Okay, so it might be about me, this whole video, in this whole endeavor, but it's also about you guys. When I look at my site's analytics, I don't just see numbers, I see people, I see you. All the time and the effort and the site's content, it doesn't mean anything without an audience to consume and appreciate it. So I want to thank everyone who has ever read and commented on one of the articles. if you've sent me an email, if you've engaged with me on social media, I really appreciate it. It means a ton. Poker media is just wonderful, and I love consuming what everyone else out there produces. I've never felt like all the various outlets out there, I never felt that they were competitors. I always felt that sort of de facto they all work together to deliver the full gamut of content that poker fans crave. More often than not, consuming that poker media work, it just inspires me to try and produce some of my own. So I just hope to continue taking unique and interesting angles on what's going on in the poker world and keep you all entertained along the way. So this is my one time. I've given myself a year, and I really hope that I can make this dream work. So one time, boosting the content production and viewer numbers on this site is one thing, but having that translate into a reliable income is quite another. So I'm fortunate enough to have seen revenue from this poker blog grow year over year ever since I started out, thank God. The thing is that money was always extra, over and above what I was making from my salaried position, and quite frankly, now it's grocery money. So I'm happy not to be starting off from zero, but it's still a long ways off from where I need it to be if I want to be able to do this, continue to do this indefinitely. So, just putting that out there, to help bridge the gap and frankly keep the lights on. I am planning on taking on some other freelance projects in the poker world, and if you're interested in finding out what they are, you're welcome to subscribe to my monthly newsletter, which I'm proud to say is now 1 year old, so yay. Anyway, if you enjoy what it is that I do and you want me to keep on doing it, please just consider clicking the share button on Facebook or giving it an RT on Twitter, just sharing, letting other people know that you enjoy it and that it's out there. Because next time you come across one of my articles and share it with someone else, that's the ripple effect, and maybe there are other people out there who might like it too, whether it's an article, podcast, a video like this. Just share the love, spread the love. So I guess in closing, I just want to leave you all with one message that I hope it inspires you. Do the things in life that are in line with your vision, so that one day you too can live the dream, because life is too short to be anything but happy. Thanks for tuning in, guys.